across the Aegean Sea is an island which played a significant part in the lives of the ancient Greeks. Kos was a destination for the sick who wanted to be healed. What began here thousands of years ago continues to play a significant part in our lives today. For this is the birthplace of Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine. He believed in clinical observation, logical analysis, and the healing power of nature. He believed in putting the patient at the center of the diagnosis. He believed in diet, he believed in a healthy environment, and above all, he managed to tell people that it wasn't their fault that they were ill. It wasn't a punishment from the gods. It was simply because the body was sick. So he managed to separate completely religion and medicine for the first time ever. To this day, many doctors still take the Hippocratic Oath before they practice medicine. They say Hippocrates, though mortal, is descended from the god of healing, Asclepius. Manolis, a local historian, is taking me to the Asclepion, a sort of health spa and healing sanctuary.
Some scholars say that, in fact, Asclepius was the first real doctor. He was human. And after being so good and so perfect in medicine, after he died, they made him a god.
Oh, I see.
And they invented the myth.
That's very rare, isn't it, to be made a god?
Yes, it's very rare. And Hippocrates, who is a descendant from Asclepius, is the 18th descendant of the god himself, of Asclepius.
So medicine running in the family?
Yes, exactly. That was the way.
Yes. There were hundreds of Asclepions in ancient Greece, but now, looking at these abandoned ruins, it's quite difficult to imagine them buzzing with life.
There should be in more than one terraces, so in most cases there would be 3.
So we're on the... Is this the first terrace
Yes,
here?
this is the first terrace, which was devoted to the body. The second one would be devoted to the soul, and the third one to the spirit. Body, soul, spirit. And here we would have the rooms for the patients, all surrounding the first terrace.
So like a great sort of hospital laid out
Yes,
here?
exactly, exactly.
Also,
Yes.
they've chosen the most beautiful position.
It was a prerequisite to have a unique location.
And presumably a prerequisite to have water.
Yes, exactly. Very interesting statuette up at the top.
It looks like Pan or something.
Exactly, the small god of the woods, half a goat, half a human.
I think he's playing a pipe.
Exactly, the pan pipe.
The Pan pipe. It's like the Green Man. We have the Green Man in England, who's very like Pan. He lived in the woods. He had no sort of morals as we have them. Everything was fine.
All right.
All animals were good, all this was good, you take that, it's yours, it doesn't matter, I have it. I'll leave you, I love you, I leave you. He had no morals.
Something like the 70s.
Something like the 70s, actually, with pan
Sharing
pipes and letting the hair go.
Having fun, celebrating.
Above the hospital stood the temples, so that patients could worship their gods and show their gratitude. People therefore came here with a sense of absolute purpose. They came because they were ill or they wanted to get well, but they knew, they had the faith already. They knew their God was here.
Yes.
They would bring what? What would they offer?
They would expect you to bring something, for example, an animal.
Yeah.
You didn't have any money. You could always find some nuts, some milk. In most cases, the animal would be killed, cut, the intestines would be burnt. So the smoke will go up to the gods from Olympus and they would be pleased that you're remembering them, but the rest of the animal would be eaten.
The ancient Greeks realized they couldn't be healed through worship alone. So through incredible foresight, they also built a medical school inside the grounds of the temple to teach the science of Hippocrates.
Here it would be something like a podium. Their teacher would be here teaching them the lesson. Hippocrates was the first one to cry out and say that there is never an illness without a natural cause. Before him, they believed very much that the gods were given the illnesses. Hippocrates said, I respect the gods, but I'm sorry, there is never an illness without a natural cause. He went so far that until the 19th century, his books were still being studied worldwide. So here we are at the third terrace.
Just like today, sadly not all illnesses could be healed. So on the third terrace was a temple where those about to die could give their soul and spirit to the gods.
Yes.
And what did it look like?
It looked like something that you wouldn't want to miss, and something that would make you feel so humble, so small, that by giving your soul to the God, you were sure that you would be healed.
This was majestic, enormous.
Exactly.
Dominating this hillside.
Exactly.
Sunrise on Kos. Manolis has arranged a trip to the neighbouring island of Nisyros, which is home to an active volcano. Kos and Nisyros are part of a chain of volcanic islands which stretches across the Aegean. In Greek mythology, Poseidon is the tempestuous god of the sea, who was seen to throw a huge rock at an escaping Titan. As it crashed into the water, that rock became the volcanic island of Nisyros. And every time the volcano erupts, people believe it is the pinned-down Titan trying to escape. The last eruption was in 1888. Nisyros is a tiny island, and one of its few vehicles is the school bus, which we commandeer for the day. The volcano, with its 5 craters, covers almost half the surface area of the entire island. Stephanos is the biggest of the 5 craters. The smell, it's sort of sulphurous, but it's got even another smell on the back of it as well.
Yes. And what is really unique is that he's alive. He's changing all the time, depending on the weather, depending on the wind. If it is rain, it's never the same.
And the fumaroles, how close to them can we get?
Not really close, because as close as we get, the crust is thinner.
Yeah.
Because the steam that comes out from the fumaroles is up to 100 degrees of Celsius.
Look at these fantastic colours, this sour yellow and baked. This must have been from what, rain and then drying out?
Exactly.
If you listen, you can actually hear it bubbling.
Yes.
This is not good to touch, is it?
Not good to touch. One of the nicknames is Akolos.
Akolos.
Kolos
is...
bum. Exactly. Akolos, bumless. So, if you sit, you're going to burn. It's acid.
I'm quite enchanted that in such a place of desolation and sort of absence of life, there are such stunning patterns. You couldn't find an art designer to make you lovelier, more beautiful arrangements of how it dries. It's as if nature just doesn't have to bother to be ugly or horrible.
Nature is
an
an artist
around everything,
herself.
it's just beautiful. They don't suddenly just go blip like that, do they?
Sometimes.
Oh, well, okay.
Sometimes. That's why you should never go.
No, I'm honestly not going to do that. I think I'll just not do that. This feels almost as though we're on another planet here.
Yeah. Some say it resembles the moon, how the moon would be looking like. That's why Moonraker was shot here.
Moonraker?
Yes.
The Bond film?
Yes.
Roger Moore?
Exactly. Some shots of the moon.
Yeah.
They were just exactly where we are right now.
How extraordinary.